Kabul has fallen, and the Taliban is quickly taking over Afghanistan. Here is what we know right now. Early this morning, the Afghan president fled the country. In a matter of hours, Taliban forces stormed the presidential palace in Kabul. Today, there was a mad dash to get out. It was gridlock on the streets as people in Kabul pulled money from the banks and tried to get out of the capital city. The U.S. raced to airlift its citizens out of the country. The U.S. Embassy in Kabul suspended all operations and told Americans in Afghanistan to shelter in place until further notice.
The Biden administration announced last month that they would pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by the end of August. Days into that process, the Taliban has taken hold. The White House released this photo of President Biden at Camp David today, meeting with his national security team about the deteriorating situation. That includes the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. This morning on Meet the Press, he defended the president's decision to pull out of Afghanistan.
I have to tell you that the inability of Afghan security forces to defend their country has played a very powerful role in what we've seen over the last few weeks. The fact is, we invested, the international community invested over 20 years, billions of dollars in these forces, 300,000 of them, with an air force, something the Taliban didn't have, with the most modern, sophisticated equipment. And unfortunately, tragically, they have not been able to defend the country. And I think that explains why this has moved as quickly as it's moved.
Many are unsatisfied with that response from the Biden administration. Hundreds of protesters have gathered outside the White House this afternoon, urging the U.S. government not to abandon the forces in Afghanistan. NBC News is reporting the Pentagon will send an additional 1,000 troops to Kabul to help with the deteriorating situation there. This comes one day after President Biden authorized the deployment of 5,000 troops to help evacuate personnel. Across the country, we are seeing a lot of reaction today from those who served in Afghanistan, who are saddened to see the Taliban take over.
Victoria De Leon joins us now. And Victoria, you spoke with Colorado Democratic Representative Jason Crow, who is a veteran himself.
Yeah, Jenny and Steve, and he says this has been absolutely heartbreaking to watch unfold. As a veteran who survived in Afghanistan, to his fellow veterans, Representative Crow says they should be proud of their service, even though this is not how anyone wanted this war to end. He says now the priority is evacuating U.S. citizens and Afghan partners. He started calling for the evacuation back in April after the Biden administration announced the withdrawal of combat troops. He says what is happening in Afghanistan today is why the evacuation process should have started sooner. Despite the billions of dollars spent helping build the Afghan army, he says the United States could not have been at war there forever.
What you can't buy is a will to fight. What you can't buy is leadership. This has always been the Afghans' fight. This is not our fight to fight. The one thing we could always control is honoring our promises to the people that stood by us shoulder to shoulder. That's why going all the way back to April, I said we needed to start the evacuations and getting it going.
Now, if you or someone you know has friends or family from the United States stuck in Afghanistan, Representative Crow asks that you contact his office with their names. And meanwhile, one Colorado man who was born in Afghanistan is asking that people simply stand in solidarity with the refugee community and those with ties to the country.
It's hard to be hopeful, for the folks in Afghanistan. It's hard to be hopeful. But all we can do is pray for them. So to the members of here, what I encourage them, find ways how we can support, the women and the children.
And Jenny and Steve, for Tamim, who has a 15-year-old daughter, he says it's difficult thinking about the progress women in that country had over the last 20 years, stripped away in a matter of days. And as you just heard him say, he encourages everyone to find ways to become an ally. Sometimes that starts with asking people in this community how they're doing and offering any support you have.
Support important right now. Victoria, thank you.